Welcome back to Reds Fusion LFC. Today's episode is absolutely on fire. Alexander Isak drops a big admission after his first Premier League goal against Liverpool. Arne Slot's Masterplan gives us a clear glimpse into the Reds' future, and the Wirtz risk that paid off in a huge way. We've also got Jamie Carragher's strong reaction, plus Lucas Paqueta's emotional outburst on social media that could lead to a serious ban. So don't go anywhere. Like, share, and subscribe to Reds Fusion LFC, and let's dive straight into today's Red Storm. Alexander Isak makes honest admission after first Liverpool Premier League goal. I'm aware Alexander Isak scored his first Premier League goal for Liverpool in their 2-0 win at West Ham United. Alexander Isak has reacted to scoring his first Premier League goal for Liverpool, admitting it had been a long time coming. The £125 million man broke his duck to set the Reds on their way to a badly needed 2-0 victory at West Ham United. Isak side-footed home in the 60th minute with a finish that reminded everyone why Liverpool smashed the British transfer record for his signature from Newcastle United in the summer. The Sweden international has struggled for fitness and form since joining the Premier League champions, and while he got off the mark for the club in the 2-1 Cup win at home to Southampton in September, he has had to wait until the last day of November to open his account in the top flight. And speaking to Sky Sports afterwards, Isak said, "I'm aware that it has been a long time coming and I have been trying to get back to my best form. I'm still on the way, but I am happy to get that goal. The best feeling today is that we win the game, and that is the best way to get a good spirit in the group, but of course I am a striker, so scoring goals will always help me. We have to use this win in a good way, but also be humble. We have to stay focused and keep working hard to keep this momentum." The Reds headed into the clash at the London Stadium on the back of a run of 3 straight defeats and 9 losses in 12 games. But the thoroughly deserved success over the Hammers moved them up to 8th in the table and 2 points behind the top 4, ahead of a home clash with Sunderland on Wednesday and a trip to another promoted outfit, Leeds United, on Saturday. And Isak added, "We knew it was going to be difficult to get back to winning ways after our recent form. Happy that we won, and happy to be on the score sheet as well." Reds boss Arne Slot was asked about the significance of Isak's first Premier League goal for the club, and he told Sky Sports, "Yes, think it does feel significant. I wasn't planning to give him many more minutes before bringing him off." Arne Slot feelings made perfectly clear as Liverpool get glimpse into future Liverpool. Verdict from the London Stadium as Arne Slot's side beat West Ham United 2-0 thanks to goals from Alexander Isak and Cody Gakpo. Arne Slot's name was reverberating around the London Stadium as the game entered its 95th minute. Here felt significant, and as those in the away end continued their appreciation of the Liverpool boss after the full-time whistle, his thumbs up towards them was a similarly important gesture of gratitude for their backing. It was a message that communicated unequivocally that so many are still firmly behind an embattled Slot during the most difficult period of his time in charge, and from the defensive solidity and willingness to fight right through to the identity of the first goalscorer here in this 2-0 win against West Ham United. This was exactly what the doctor ordered for Slot. After a deeply troubling time, it may not stave off the wider debates around his suitability for the job he occupies just yet, but as Steven Gerrard had urged after Wednesday's 4-1 smiting by PSV in the Champions League, the Reds have at least stopped the bleeding. For now, the challenge for the champions now is to continue putting their best foot forward and get beyond the upcoming festive period with a historically poor run of 9 defeats in the previous 12 firmly behind them. And this deserved victory provided a brief glimpse into the future at Anfield, to a world where Florian Wirtz loads the bullets and Alexander Isak fires the gun. After nearly 3 months as Liverpool teammates, supporters finally got to see a snapshot of what they're both capable of in the same team. They have been made to wait longer than anticipated for both to truly come to the party, but this was Wirtz's best performance in the Premier League by some distance on a day when the game was pretty much won by Isak's second-half opener. Slot couldn't have wished for a more passive opponent, but his team were much better here as they went about, fixing an unwanted sequence that dates back over 2 months. Full credit to the head coach, who, in an effort to end a tough week on a positive note, made the brave calls and necessary changes that got his side in the groove once more. This was not a complete performance that was brimful of swagger or confidence, but they did more than enough to emerge from the capital. With the points and the table suddenly looks much rosier, the title holders entered the weekend in the bottom half for the first time in 11 years at this stage of the campaign, and that aforementioned 12-game run was the worst since the early 1950s. But the decision to recall the flawless Joe Gomez into the problem position of right-back was inspired. The versatile defender didn't put a foot wrong on his first Premier League start for over 11 months, ensuring a safety-first approach was taken at right fullback, which helped out an out of sorts Ibrahima Konate no end. Alongside Virgil van Dijk, Slot had been reluctant to use his only other senior centre-back from the start given the injury history of Konate, but Gomez put down a marker here. He must start as often as possible now while Jeremy Frimpong and Connor Bradley continue to recover from their respective injuries. The long-serving Londoner may not be able to be thrown into the action every 3 days, given his lack of football and litany of injury problems, but when fit and available, that has to be the play now. He helped a beleaguered backline keep just their 3rd clean sheet since mid-September, and even popped up with an assist for Cody Gakpo in stoppage time. The call to give Mohamed Salah a rest paid off. The Egyptian's removal from the side allowed Liverpool the ability to dominate the central areas with Wirtz, Alexis Mack, Alistair, and Ryan Gravenberch, all impressing alongside tireless workhorse Dominic Szoboszlai, whose excellent campaign rolled on. What the Reds lacked in threat from wide areas, they made up for with comfort in possession with Wirtz. In particular, pulling the strings, the former Bayer Leverkusen man, who was the best player on the pitch, has had a tough time adapting to the ferocity and physicality of English football, but a tame Hammer's side paid the price for allowing him too much room as he weaved his patterns before being withdrawn for Curtis Jones in the second half. Wirtz should have done better when he was denied by Alphonse Areola, who had earlier kept out Isak, but the Germany playmaker had a big hand in the first goal. Playing the pass to Gakpo before his cutback was calmly dispatched. Slot conceded recently Isak would be selected. In an effort to play through his fitness problems, and while he is still obviously some way short of the sort of sharpness that made him a British record arrival. These afternoons are exactly what the Liverpool boss was talking about, having seen his No.9 toil through the opening exchanges. A halftime swap for Hugo Ekitike or Salah would have been the easiest decision in the world for Slot, but his nerve was held and then rewarded with a cool finish that saw Isak cast aside the fitness woes of the last 4 months or so. The Sweden international left to a huge ovation from the traveling cop and now has this moment to use as fuel in his efforts to pay back his monumental £125 million transfer fee. There are plenty of hard yards still to be taken, but this could be a massive afternoon for the man signed to fire in goals. By the boatload over the coming years, it will undoubtedly be the first of many. Gakpo made the result safe in injury time when he steered home Gomez's cross, and it was a result and display that bore so many hallmarks of last season. En route to the Premier League title, Liverpool were not at their free-flowing best, but a firmer underbelly allowed them to grow into the game and eventually impress their superior quality. It's a long way back to those levels more generally, but this was an important step in the right direction. Arne Slot reveals Florian Wirtz risk that paid off in Liverpool's West Ham win. Florian Wirtz put in one of his best displays so far for Liverpool and was the team's star man in the opening 45 minutes at West Ham. On a day the Reds returned to winning ways, Arne Slot has revealed Liverpool's medical team urged him to withdraw Florian Wirtz earlier than he did in Sunday's 2-0 win over West Ham. The German was the Reds' standout performer at the London Stadia and was selected as the club's man of the match after pulling the strings 4 long spells from the No. 10 role. Wirtz created several openings for teammates, particularly in the first half. prompting Jamie Carragher to claim he was head and shoulders above everyone else at the halftime interval. That was unsurprising, given that the 22-year-old has missed the last 2 games due to injury, but Slot felt it was vital to keep Wirtz on the pitch, considering his impact on the game. We tried to create an extra midfielder, and Wirtz was very important for us to find. Every time, the extra midfielder, explained the Liverpool head coach. He was good when he made a dribble. He was really good in his one-touch balls. I even remember a moment when he played the ball diagonally in the 18-yard box to Cody Gakpo, which then didn't lead to a shot, so no XG value. We had many of those moments, and he was part of many of those moments. I think a good game. The performance staff were constantly telling me he needs to go out. He needs to go out because he's been out for 1.5–2 weeks and he only trained once. So, to a certain extent, maybe it was a bit of risk to keep him in the team. But some situations asked for an exception, and I think today was one of them. Despite Wirtz's impressive showing, he is still searching for his first Premier League goal and assist since his summer move to Anfield. That, however, is no longer the case for Alexander Isak. The ex-Newcastle star netted his maiden league goal since his record-breaking deadline day transfer in September, as he placed the ball into the bottom corner from a Cody Gakpo cross just before the hour mark in London. The Dutchman then grabbed the second goal of the game as he controlled and fired beyond Alphonse Areola in injury time. The 2–0 win means Liverpool moves up to 8th in the table and ends its disastrous run of 9 defeats in 12. Alexander Isak makes Liverpool's statement as Jamie Carragher, feelings clear. Isak scored his first Premier League goal for Liverpool. In their 2–0 win over West Ham on Sunday, Jamie Carragher has heaped praise on Alexander Isak, following the summer signing's crucial role in Liverpool's vital Premier League triumph on Sunday afternoon. The Reds desperately needed a response after an abysmal week that saw them comprehensively defeated by both Nottingham Forest and PSV Eindhoven. Setbacks were part of a wider run where they lost 9 of their last 12 fixtures across all competitions. There was a collective sense of relief in the second period when Isak finally broke his Premier League duck for the Reds, calmly converting from a Cody Gakpo delivery. The Netherlands international then switched from creator to finisher as he netted Liverpool's second late on, with the opposition down to 10 players following Lucas Paqueta's dismissal. Speaking afterward, former Reds centre-back Carragher commended the frontman for his coolness in the area on what proved a challenging opportunity to convert. He also stressed how pivotal a moment it could prove for the Swedish international as he seeks to finally kickstart his Anfield journey. It was a big moment for him, Carragher told Sky Sports post-match. He had a couple of chances first half and one he should have done better with. Isak does really well. He finds space in the box, and it's not easy to find space with so many numbers in there. West Ham have probably got everyone back behind the ball. He drops off the defenders there, and it's a lovely cushioned finish. It's one of those that just bounces and then he gets a really good contact on it. Arne Slot's men return to action in midweek when Sunderland visit Anfield. Before travelling to Elland Road to face Leeds United, the victory against West Ham leaves Liverpool just 3 points adrift of the top 4, meaning a strong run of form could finally kickstart their campaign. For Isak, he's now netted twice in 12 outings across all competitions, whilst also providing 1 assist during the narrow loss to Chelsea earlier this season. This follows his deadline day switch to Liverpool, where he completed a blockbuster £125 million transfer from Newcastle United. He missed preseason after going on strike to engineer the summer move, meaning he's being carefully reintegrated to restore his match sharpness.